afternoon now, not morning anymore. Thank you very much for coming to listen to me talk about a little bit more about how to choose the right university today. I apologize first of all for my voice. It is abandoning me, so I'll try and speak as loud and clear as I can. But if there is something you need me to repeat, feel free to interrupt me, or if you have any questions, I know we'll have some time at the end, but I'm more than happy to answer as we go, so we don't left behind and then maybe forget. A little bit more maybe about myself, and it will tell you why I'm presenting on this today. My name is Жоэль Лаццаротто, not much of an English name. I'm originally from Switzerland, and I was an international student myself, firstly in Japan, and after that in the United Kingdom. So it's my pleasure now to go around Asia and Europe, talking to prospective international students on what it is like to study overseas, and especially today, how to go about choosing the right university. I know this is not at all an easy process. In the UK alone, there are just over 150 institutions to choose from, and each of them offer different experiences, different courses, different subjects within those courses even, and picking between them with only a vague idea of what to do or what it might be like to study in the UK, it can be a real challenge. Where to start? So there are so many factors that will influence your choice. So you have to choose your course, but then everyone is talking about rankings. What about location? What about the cost of studying overseas? What about the support that you might require, the support the university can give you? So as a starting point to start thinking about, do all universities offer the course you're interested in? For example, if you want to study business and management, you have a good chance that a big chunk of those 150 institutions will offer your course. But if you're looking at something a little bit more niche, like an art and design course of veterinary science, then your choices narrow down a little bit more. Furthermore, other things you want to consider is the specific content, and is a campus, is it a city university, do you offer scholarships, how will this help with my career? So these are a few of the things I'm going to talk about in my presentation today. So just to get started, I wanted to play a short video that just outlines a little bit more about this process that students go through. This is just, it was just a quick example of A-level students in the UK talking about how they're going about choosing their university, their course, the doubts they're having. My point here is not just, for international students. Picking a university is hard enough for home students. They have the opportunity to go and talk about these courses. So for international students, it can be even a little bit more complicated. So a quick checklist that I put together thinking about when I did it. So does the university offer your course? Does the course itself have appealing options within the modules, for example? Is it a campus or a city-based university? Do you know how expensive the local area might be? Is it close to a town or city that you might know? You might know someone that studied there before. Is the campus easy to get to? Is it safe? You might be moving overseas for the first time on your own, and some of you in the room are quite young still, so that's important. Does the university provide for your extracurricular interests as well? Are you playing any sports? Are you very good at singing? Are you playing an instrument? Do you want to continue that at university? Are the placement years or opportunity to study abroad? Entry requirements realistic? Talking about myself again, I always knew I wasn't going to do anything related with numbers because maths has never been my strongest point. So that's another thing to take into consideration. What are student satisfaction rates and graduate prospect? And then again, think about accommodation and travel costs. So one thing first that I think is the main point and what's the most difficult to start with is choosing the perfect course for you. So most of you will be studying at the moment or have studied, you're working. So what are your preferred subjects? What are your strengths? So in the UK alone, there are over 39,000 courses on offer. And despite these courses might have similar titles, they might have very different content. So sometimes the title or the name of the course is not enough to understand what the course is really about. So it's very worth talking to someone like myself if you had the opportunity today, or someone like the guys at Бизнес-Линк who have experience with several universities and will be able to advise on what course would fit best with your interest and what you're looking for. Is it the subject you're looking at, or you're thinking something you have already studied, something you're passionate about, and you want to make the most of your 3 years in university continuing? Is this a subject that might be related to a career idea? Maybe you've done some work experience in a specific field and that's what you think you might want to go into. Or maybe you've always had a dream job, but you know that's how you're going to achieve that. That might make things a little bit easier. Or you just want to try something new. Sometimes university subjects can be quite varied, and they can be something you've never done in high school. And that will give you the opportunity to specialize in something you have never done before and you think might be the right path for you. If you are not sure, you've gone through this third process and you're not sure what course will be best for you. Do you have a passion, but you're not sure you're going to find, the right employment? You don't know how this is going to fit into a future career. Have you considered maybe a joint honours, a double degree? So some university offer the opportunity to study, for example, business and management and creative arts, or business and management and photography, for example, allowing students to combine two of their passions, or again, to make the most of trying something new and doing something they know they're really good at and they will enjoy. So here again, when choosing a course, remember not all courses with the same name are identical in content, and I cannot stress this enough. Each university have their own strength, and we get to that in a minute. Each lecturers have done a different path, and what they can offer in the course can vary, and it might make a difference to you. So again, as you can read, in the UK, degree courses tend to be very specialized, allowing you to focus on your chosen subjects from day one. So a university course is meant to give you, year one is a bit of an overview, but then you tend to have the opportunity to specialize more and more in what you're really interested in. So look carefully, and most of the time have a very good look at the university website for further information. So look at the modules covered in each course, and you can identify which ones are most interesting or relevant to your career aspiration or what you're good at. How many lecturers are there? How much group work will there be, or seminars? Some of us are more passive learners, so you like to listen and then do your own research. Some of us are a little bit more, they like to work in group, they like to have some hands-on experience on what they're doing and give a presentation. So this also depends on universities and how they structure the course. The class sizes, it's not always easy to have a group work when it's 400 of you in a class. But sometimes that's necessary because there's so many people on a course. And what does the assessment at the end of each module look like? Exams, coursework, presentation, a combination of all. I'd say most universities do offer combinations, but it's something that you might want to take into account if you've never been really good at exams or if you don't like giving presentations. And this is my personal advice: pick something you love. And as Samuel said here, drama and English literature students, you find that you work harder if you're passionate about your degree. Joint courses are also great because you get the best out of both subjects. I always say to students I meet, if you choose something, a course specifically, just because you think it might be good for a career but you don't personally enjoy it, it's going to be a very long 3 years. So try and find, even if that is the course you have to take to get where you want, try and find something that offers modules that you might enjoy. Something that has some extra, some placement years that you might find useful, just so you really get to enjoy what you're doing in university. And now we've picked a course. You have more or less an idea of what degree you want to do. Now, which of the university on offer will be the perfect match for you. Have you heard, how many in the room have heard of university rankings, like the World University Ranking, the Times Higher Education, the Guardian, QS World Rankings? Have you consulted any of these rankings in the process of choosing your university? Okay, that's not a bad answer. So university rankings are important because they help you find out what universities are doing well overall. But they also come with, personally, a disclaimer. Make sure you're reading them correctly. If you're looking at world university rankings, they might not give you a picture of the UK necessarily. Most of these of rankings, these are just an example because they're the one that are the best known, but most rankings, are we looking at the general or the subject-specific rankings? Because those can change quite widely. So if you're looking at an art and design or a veterinary science or a mechanical engineering course, have a look both at the general but also the subject-specific rankings, because that could give you a very good insight of what university might be doing fantastically well in the specific course area you want to study, but maybe, you know, because of other factors, they're not doing that well in the ranking overall. So that's important to take both into account and to make sure you understand what the ranking take into consideration and how to read them. What are the strengths of the university? So many factors once again. What is the campus environment like? So we said the course is important, but also where you will be studying has quite a lot of importance as well. So do you prefer a city campus university? You know, you grew up in Kiev, you've always been in a big city, and you now want to go in central London and really make the most of the cosmopolitan adventures that you can have to and from lectures, be on in the heart of the city centre where you can go and then commute back via shops and pubs and go home using public transport? Or do you want more of a campus-based university where everything is in your doorstep? You live in student accommodation and you just stroll down to your lectures in the morning. You stop by the refectory or the local SU for a drink with your friends after lectures, and you don't really need to leave the area necessarily, unless obviously you want to go into the nearest town. This is obviously a matter of preference. Everyone has got their own opinion, what they want to do. Some universities offer campus-based location. They're very close to the city center, so you can get the best of both worlds. Others have campuses, proper campuses where you have everything on the ground within the city. So as soon as you exit campus, you are in the city center. So there are different factors, again, that location can make a difference. So campus or town, I found some quite interesting quotes while doing my research. So Nisita here is consider what kind of environment you want before you make your applications. I wanted a campus university because it means I'm at the heart of everything. I can get to my class in a couple of minutes, and I absolutely love that. So she might like to sleep in the morning and not have to get up half an hour early to walk to class. But once again, this is just a student testimonial. Again, what are the facilities at a university like? So some of you might be thinking of going into food, nutrition, chemistry, some very lab-based courses. Some of you might be thinking of going into something related to media, art and design, photography, for example. So does the university you're considering have all of the facilities you might need to work on your projects, to do well in your degree? What is the library like? I know this is a bit of a boring question sometimes to ask people, but what are the resources you will get access to like? And I suppose some courses are more sensitive to this than others. So once again, if you're studying a TV, a media, a radio course, do they have the facilities on campus? Will you have access to other facilities if they don't have them on campus for you? So there are different things that you might want to ask and make our life as international officers harder and harder as you ask more specific questions. What are the opportunities outside of your degree or as part of your degree? So would you have opportunities for a work placement, for example? Especially at undergraduate level, universities offer work opportunities that can range between 2 weeks to a 4-year internship or work placement that can be either paid or unpaid, depending on, most of the time depends on the field of study, what kind of work you're looking for, and what kind of job you'll be doing. But I personally always recommend, even if it's a voluntary experience, do make the most of it, do get involved, and it will be a fantastic experience for yourself to get an idea of what working in that industry is really like. It is not just a university course, but you also get to meet people, make contacts, and you'll never know what can come out of those contacts after the end of your degree, you know. They might be important in your future employment. Would you have time to spend some time overseas? Some universities, obviously you'll be in the UK as an international student, but why not experience a few weeks, 6 months, or what it is like to study that course in North America, in Asia, in another country that you have always wondered, you know, I wish I had the opportunity to go there. Some university can offer the opportunity for the student to spend some time there for no extra tuition fees. So you'll just transfer the cost of living for the period over there. And once again, it's a fantastic and probably once in a lifetime opportunity for some of us. Will you have opportunities to get involved? And what do I mean? Most universities have very active student unions that provide opportunities to get involved in society. As I mentioned, do you play an instrument? Do you play a sport? Are you really good? Maybe you like drama and you want to get involved in doing some plays just with, you know, not necessarily as part of your degree, but continuing something you're passionate, a hobby. And this will allow you to meet people and make friends, but also opportunities for volunteering that can open up your CV, that can build your CV, and again, meet people, make contacts, and just get involved and make the most of your time in the UK. And last but not least, I think it's very important, how flexible are the degree options? So we mentioned courses might be different, but for example, some history courses will allow you to take modules in creative writing, in English literature, in heritage. So if there is something that you might be interested in, how flexible are these degree options? Can you combine them? Can you work with people from other departments? That's all something that is besides the degree, but I think really adds to the experience, and that's something that students should take into consideration when choosing the university of their choice. Do they offer extra support to students? This is something that you might not think about now when you're choosing, when you're here, before you leave. Once again, when I left to study in Japan myself, I was so excited. I didn't think about I was really excited. I knew that's what I wanted to do. I got there, and the first day was, what have I done? I'm here on my own. I don't understand what's written in anywhere, and I started panicking. And what got me through those first couple of weeks, it really is the support that you get from the people at the university, the support that you get from people in your accommodation buildings. You know, they put you in contact with people, how friendly the community, the atmosphere there. And then that's just, you know, arrival information, people looking after you when you get there. But also once you're there, we have student ambassadors, the peer-to-peer mentoring, for example, in the UK. That means that you have a student that might be on your course a year above, 2 years above, that's there to help you with anything you might need, you know. You're not sure you're doing it right. You're doing your first presentation, it's like, oh, is that right? Have I got the PowerPoint right? But also, especially for international students, there is a lot of support for English language, which is not necessarily down to speaking and understanding what's going on, but it's academic writing, essay writing, giving presentation, preparing presentation. That might be very different to what you've been taught in school or in university in your home country. So making sure that you make the most out of this opportunity is also very important to succeed, and for the peace of mind for yourself being there and making sure that you know who to go to if you need. And that's something that UK universities do really well, and you can always ask and be put in contact with the person you need to speak to. Unfortunately, this probably won't play again because we don't have Wi-Fi here, but that's a very cute video that's been taken at the university I come from, BASPA, where students share what they wish they'd known when they were applying or when they started. And then again, they talk about explore the BASPA campuses. They're beautiful. Independence isn't as scary as you might think. So little things you don't think about before you go. And then when you get there, it's like, oh, I wish someone told me that. I wish I knew where to ask that. So do ask as many questions as you need before applying to a university. Myself and my colleagues, that's why we're here. And we love the difficult question that comes in an event like that. And if we don't know the answer, we'll find someone that does. Oh, that was a really nice gift that unfortunately is not playing at the moment, but costs. And I know this is a bit of a sensitive subject, especially for international students, because student loans are not available as per most of the UK students. And the return on investment is something that obviously everyone is very conscious of. This going and studying overseas is an investment on your future, is an investment on your learning, an investment in your careers, and you have to take into account what the cost is going to be, just to make sure you're ready. So scholarships is the first thing that comes to mind. So when you look at a university, do they offer course-specific scholarships? Do they offer country-specific scholarships? Do they have scholarships that are dedicated to international students? So these are a few things that you can look at within the universities, but also, are there any other scholarship I might be able to apply for? I know this afternoon we're very lucky here to have a member of the Chevening Scholarship group that will be able to talk a little bit more about the options and the opportunities they provide. And I know there are a lot of private scholarship bodies that might be able to help. And that might be a little bit more of research that you have to do at your end, but the universities are also happy to help and to support in these processes, and more than anything to give you specific information on what they can offer you for your specific course. Budget ahead to avoid surprises. I've always, the big question is, can I work in the UK? Will I be able to earn some money whilst I study? The answer is yes. But you need to make sure that you're prepared for what overseas education can cost and how you can counteract that before you apply. Simply because it's such, you don't want to have to start your course and have to worry about how you're gonna pay your rent. It's quite overwhelming when you get there and you have so many things to do. You've got to make friends. You've got to get to know your housemate. You get to know your lecturers, your tutors. So cost and budgeting ahead is very important. And then I'd say do some research on cost of living in your chosen city. Once again, we were talking about the big central university in central London. The cost of living in central London might be considerably higher than if you study in a northern university like Manchester, or if you study in Kent, or if you study in the southwest like Bristol or Bath. So take into account everything that goes with it, with the choice of universities. Return on investment. How will the university support my future aspiration after graduation? And here we can go back to the statistics. What is the employment rate like? All universities will be able to tell you how many of their students are in employment or further studies within 6 months. You can find these statistics online, part of the rankings as well. But I think most importantly, the truth is not always in the numbers. It's what is the support you're getting in building your CV? What are the opportunities you get to know people that might be able to help you? What networks of alumni they can offer in countries? So when you return, for example, in this case to Ukraine, what is the support that the university can offer you through those networks? There is a lot the university do for alumni, that people that are starting obviously don't want to have to worry about what you're going to do as an alumni, but look into that and see what support you get once you complete your degree, because that's something you'll find very interesting and very useful at the end. Once again, this comes from me, so above all, always remember every course is unique, just like you. So take the time to choose, take the time to look into it, and just make sure that you enjoy what you're doing. And I think this is me in terms of the information. I've talked at you for half an hour, so I'm welcome any question you have in terms of my experience or in terms of what I might be able to again point you in the right direction. Once again, every university is different, as well as every course is unique. So if you have any specific question about courses, do ask all of those difficult questions, and don't tell them that I've pointed you in their direction or they come and find me. But do ask as many questions as you can, just to make sure that once you get to university, that's the perfect fit for you, and you'll go flying and you really enjoy your course more than anything else. Thank you.